Let's rewind the clock. It's December 12, 1980. The internet and smartphones are just sci-fi dreams. In a small garage in Cupertino, a little-known company called Apple is going public. Imagine you're there, with $1,000 in your pocket, ready to take a chance on a group of young visionaries who promise to change the world. What would happen if you invested that grand into Apple on its very first day? The answer is more shocking than you can imagine. Back in 1980, Apple was a tiny fish in a huge pond. The personal computer revolution was just starting, and giants like IBM were already making big moves. Apple's founders, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, were young, rebellious, and had a simple vision: to put a computer in every home. But the risks were massive. The company was only 4 years old, competition was fierce, and most experts doubted it would even survive. But let's say you saw something special in those early Apple computers. You believed in the vision. So on IPO day, you buy $1,000 worth of stock at $22 a share. That gets you about 45 shares. It doesn't sound like much, and at the time it probably felt like a massive gamble. But as we'll see, the boldest bets can bring the biggest rewards. The next few years are a total roller coaster. Apple launches the Macintosh in 1984, a revolutionary product that changes how we think about computers, but the competition is brutal. By the mid-80s, Apple is struggling. Steve Jobs gets forced out of the very company he started, and many investors lose faith. The stock price tumbles, and your $1,000 investment starts to look like a huge mistake. Fast forward to the 1990s, and Apple is on the brink of bankruptcy. The company is losing money, its products are failing, and the future looks bleak. Most people would have sold their shares and cut their losses. But if you held on, if you had the patience and belief to stick with Apple through its darkest days, your story is about to get a whole lot more interesting. In 1997, Steve Jobs makes his triumphant return. He brings a new vision, a new team, and a new sense of purpose. The company launches the iMac, then the iPod, then the iPhone. Each one is a game changer, completely redefining entire industries and turning Apple into a global powerhouse. The stock price starts to soar, and suddenly, that forgotten investment of yours is looking like the smartest decision you ever made. But let's get specific. What would your $1,000 investment be worth today? To figure that out, we need to talk about stock splits. Over the years, Apple has split its stock multiple times, making each of your original shares worth a lot more. In 1987, a 2-for-1 split turned your 45 shares into 90. Another split in 2000 got you 180. A third in 2005 brought you to 360. Then came the big one in 2014. A 7-for-1 split that rocketed you to 2,520 shares. Finally, a 4-for-1 split in 2020 means you now own 10,080 shares of Apple. From your original 45 shares, you now have over 10,000. With Apple's stock price hovering around $190 a share, let's do the math. Your investment is now worth over $1.9 million. That's right. Your $1,000 bet from 1980 would have turned into nearly $2 million just by holding on and letting time work its magic. And that's not even counting the dividends Apple paid out along the way. If you reinvested those, your total would be even higher. But let's be real. Holding on to Apple stock for over 4 decades would have required nerves of steel. Think about the dot-com crash of 2000, the financial crisis of 2008, and all the times when the media wrote Apple off for dead. Most investors would have sold long before seeing those incredible gains. This is the paradox of investing. The biggest rewards often go to those who are willing to endure the most discomfort. Let's imagine what that felt like. In the early 90s, you'd be watching Apple's market share shrink. Analysts are predicting bankruptcy. Your friends and family are probably telling you to sell and get out while you still can. The temptation to cash out would have been enormous. But if you resisted, if you held on through those dark days, you would have witnessed one of the greatest corporate turnarounds in history. You would have felt the surge of hope with every new product launch. The colorful iMac, the iconic iPod, and then the game-changing iPhone. Each success story wouldn't just be a news headline. It would be a direct boost to your net worth. You'd watch your long-suffering investment not just recover, but climb with breathtaking speed. Now let's put that $1.9 million figure in perspective. If you had put that same $1,000 into a broad market index like the S&P 500, it would have grown to about $100,000. That's a fantastic return, but it's just a fraction of what you would have earned with Apple. Of course, investing in a single stock is much riskier. Many of Apple's early competitors, like Commodore and Atari, have faded into history. Apple could have failed, but it didn't, and that's what makes this story so remarkable. So what's the big lesson here? First, the power of compounding is real, and it's more powerful than most of us realize. Second, patience and conviction can pay off in ways that are almost unimaginable. And third, the future is always uncertain. No one in 1980 could have predicted the iPhone or the App Store. Perhaps the biggest lesson is this: sometimes, the best investment is in a vision that seems crazy at the time. The world rewards those who are willing to take risks, think differently, and hold on when everyone else is giving up. The story of a $1,000 investment in Apple isn't just about money. It's about vision, patience, and the power of believing in something bigger than yourself. If this story has inspired you, remember that the next great opportunity might be hiding in plain sight. The world is changing faster than ever, and the companies that will shape our future are being built right now. The question is, will you have the courage to invest and the patience to hold on? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.